Hey everyone, the Dark here. I just wanted to put together a guide to share with you guys because I know that there's like free weekends and there's sales coming up, and if any of you got in on that and you want to know what to do to have the most fun in your first few days of Rainbow Six Siege, you're in the right place. I'm going to take you through it. If you can wait and restrain yourself from jumping into casual, I think you should definitely put some time into the situations. You'll only need to do 2 or 3 before you actually, and you know, the objectives, before you've got, you know, about 3 or 4 operators unlocked, which is really the ideal sort of situation before you jump into multiplayer. But if you have to, if you're queuing with a friend, start by watching the tutorials. You get 200 points for each of these, even if you skip them, and they will let you also pick your first operator. Once you've got your first 500 renown points, you should unlock a defensive operator first. The reason you want to do this is because it gives you 2 metal reinforcements for the walls. If you just have to run a recruit every game, there's always going to be one wall exposed, and that one wall will almost always be your downfall. So make sure that you're picking defenders first. Definitely probably try to have, you know, 2 or 3 defenders and maybe 1 attacker before you start jumping into multiplayer games. When it comes to picking your first operator, I highly recommend Rock, Doc or Rook. The reason being, everybody appreciates having armor on the team, and all you have to remember to do is put it down right at the start of the game. If you're playing with a group of new players, you might want to go for Doc, because Doc is also, he pairs very well with Rook. Rook will give you a higher probability of getting downed instead of killed if you get shot in the body, and Doc can get you back up again. So from a distance, from a safe space. So both of these are really good, and they're both heavy operators that give you lots of second chances when it comes to your first engagements. Other defenders are also good. After you've got one of these guys, I would recommend that you go looking at some of the other operators. I might put together another guide for that, and I'll link to it here. Now the next thing you want to do is, when you get into your first games, make sure you customize your recruit. So as an attacker, what I like to recommend for a recruit loadout is the CTU of SAS, primary weapon AR-33, secondary weapon SMG-11, primary gadget breaching charge, and secondary gadget frag grenade. So what I like about this loadout is that the AR-33 is a really low profile gun, and it's got really clean iron sights, so you can really get started, you know, shooting people very effectively right away, even if you accidentally don't pick like the right thing. The breach charges are like the bread and butter of Rainbow Six Siege. Getting used to using these is kind of like what you're gonna just have to do, what you probably signed up for. So you know, that's really good. And then grenades, like everybody can use more grenades in an attack, so that's cool. For a defensive defender, I recommend what I would call a Rook setup. That's the CTU of GIGN, primary weapon P90, secondary weapon P9, barbed wire, and a nitro cell. If you don't want the nitro cell, deployable shield doesn't go straight either, but nitro cell's better. What I like about this setup is that it's very heavy in armor, so you can make a few more mistakes as a new player and still have an okay time. The iron sights aren't as clean as something like the AR-33 or the Bandit setup, which I'm going to show you in a second, but you still come with like a pretty clean pistol, pretty powerful primary weapon, and you've got barbed wire, which everybody loves, and you've got your reinforcements, but only one, not as good as having a proper defender, and you've got your C4, which is extremely versatile. You can break hatches with it, you can open walls for, you know, extra rotations in it, and you can see for your enemies. Probably my favorite setup as a defender is the Bandit setup. This is a faster, lighter armored type. So CTU is GSG-9, primary weapons are P7, secondary weapons P12, primary gadgets barbed wire, secondary gadgets nitro cell, or again you could go for deployable shield if you think you're really terrible with the nitro cell. For pretty similar reasons to the attacker, I like this setup. It's got a really low profile gun and a very clean iron sights, so you can start getting very clean kills with it. You've got a good secondary weapon. You're extremely fast and extremely quiet, so if you think you're a bit more of an experienced FPS player and you want to go more aggressively, you're gonna find that you're really at home with this. And you've got, you know, barbed wire, you got your C4 for blowing up hatches or enemies or shields or whatever. So last tip is watch, listen, and communicate. Make sure that you watch what more experienced players are doing, you listen to what more experienced players are saying, and you communicate about the things that you know with the rest of the team, particularly what's on the cameras, you know, and how you got killed. You wouldn't believe how much a game could turn around just because somebody didn't call a critical piece of information like an operator got into the room, or, you know, just something silly like that. So it's really important to communicate everything you can, and even if you're not a very good communicator at the start, just keep doing it, because as you do it more and more, you're going to get better at saying things unambiguously to people. You'll get more familiar with, you know, where the helipad is or where the helipad entrance is.
Enemy controlled area.
And, you know,
leave now.
pay attention to the compass in the bottom right and try to memorize each of the rooms that you're in as you go, even if you just load up a custom game and run around it on your own, or if you run around it in a terrorist thing and you just speak to yourself about where you killed terrorists. It's like, oh, I shot one in the helipad entrance. Oh, you know, I shot one in the maps room. I shot one in the cockpit. All that is really good practice for getting better at communicating unambiguously, and yeah, just make sure you do that, because that's going to really like turn a lot of games. It's going to swing a lot of games in your favor if you're communicating plenty and you're listening to what people say and you know what it means when they say it.
You will be detected if you remain in this area.
So yeah, other than that, take it easy, have fun in Siege.